Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jane Bobel. I am the director of the Olympia Parks, Recreation and Cultural Services Department, and it is indeed my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. We have a little bit more of the pre-entertainment before we begin the official dedication at 9 o'clock this evening. Some of you may have a program already, and there are people wandering through the audience with programs, so if you are interested in one, look for someone with a flower, and they might be able to help you. But inside the program is the history of the Heritage Park. Some of you may know the history, some of you may not, and so we've provided some ways to share that history with you tonight. Some of you don't know that the Washington State Capitol was actually a product of a design competition that was conducted in 1911. There were 5 firms that were selected as finalists to design the Capitol. All 5 firms talked about the importance of the view from the Capitol campus, which was a gift from Edmund Sylvester, to the water. And 2 individuals, Mr. Wilder and Mr. White from New York, were successful in getting the competition for this particular project. And so they designed this park in 1911.
Our state. 61 years later, in 1911, Wilder and White conceived the design for our Capitol campus. There were 3 components to that design. First, the magnificent buildings, which are designed to appear as a single structure when viewed from the sound. Those were completed in the 1930s. Second, the reflecting lake, which was completed in the 1950s. And finally, a park, which would connect the buildings to Puget Sound and run along the lake. As is so often the case, the park was left for last. Mike Lowry.
Thank you, Mayor Jacobs. Thank you, all of you, for your tremendous work on what is one of the most beautiful projects for the future of the most beautiful capital in the United States. We have over 500,000 visitors a year now visit the Washington State Capitol, and many of the tour directors and so on list it as the most beautiful capital in the United States. This edition of the Heritage Park, I think, will remove any question as to what is the most beautiful capital in the United States. And that's just a wonderful thing. And so thank you, everyone, for your part in that. Representing, just for a moment, the entity, the state of Washington government, I want to say thank you so much for the tremendous cooperation we get from the city of Olympia, and how this has been such a great team effort, and that is here now, and I'm confident that's going to continue, and I think we're going to see the completion of the entire Heritage Project, and I, for one, am going to stay very committed to see that happen, along with all the rest of you. I want to mention just a moment the Washington Wildlife Recreation Coalition. Jane Bobel, the City Parks and Recreation Director, is a very valuable member of our coalition. And we have raised over $200 million that's been spent on projects like this around the state. So that working with the Interagency Committee on Outdoor Recreation and the rest of the state government working with the city of Olympia is the way that we've been able to put this together. And so everybody in that, like Bob, I want to thank. And I want to thank Alan Miller and the committee for the tremendous work that's been done there. I was looking forward to this dedication, and we're all looking forward to the continued dedication of the complete park. Thank you very much.
The next group I'd like to thank is the North Capitol Campus Heritage Park Development Association, whose work over the past 9 years has driven this project. I'd like to introduce for a few comments Alan Miller, who has been the president of that organization for the past 6 years and a very active member of its legislative committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Governor. It's just amazing that where you were standing right now for so many years, you could look that way and not see the Capitol Dome. Isn't this a wonderful place that we have created together? It was only a decade ago that two men rediscovered the original Wilder and White plan for the Capitol campus, which included a promenade down from the Temple of Justice out here to the Puget Sound. One of those men was Paul Ingham, a local architect, and the other man is up on the stage tonight, Bob Jacobs, your mayor. And Mr. Mayor, I salute you for rediscovering that plan, and thank you very much. They brought the idea of this great park linking the Capitol campus to Bud Inlet and to downtown Olympia. They brought it to the Olympia Parks Advisory Committee, and the City Council then authorized a study which showed that even 75 years after it was originally thought of by Wilder and White, that it was still feasible to complete the original plan. All the vision needed was citizen support. So a group of citizens came together and formed the North Capitol Campus Heritage Park Development Association. That's quite a mouthful, but we put together a statewide advisory committee, and with their help, the idea of completing this park caught fire. It has been my privilege to serve with that group for the last 8 years. We're all excited about the progress that has been made thanks to the hard work with our partners, both the City of Olympia and the State of Washington. The development of this city block and as a park and the fountain is another great step in this process that has taken 85 years. This weekend we'll begin hearing the laughter of children and their families as they enjoy recreating and recreating in this civic space. I predict that within another decade, Heritage Park will become one of the most popular gathering places in the capital city. It has been said that the ultimate test of a society is the kind of world that it leaves to its children. Let us dedicate this park to the children of the state of Washington, for they are our true and lasting heritage. Thank you very much.